True wealth begins not just with money, but with the ability to convey ideas clearly and persuasively. The richest individuals of our time are those who can articulate visions that others want to follow. Learning to communicate effectively, through writing, speaking, and even listening, opens doors that raw talent alone cannot. In 2026, those who master digital communication, storytelling, and cross-cultural dialogue will hold a significant advantage. Wealth is often a byproduct of influence, and influence flows through communication. No journey to prosperity is without setbacks. One of the defining skills that separates the successful from the average is resilience. Failure is not a dead end. It is a classroom. Every rejection, every mistake carries a lesson waiting to be absorbed. In the fast-evolving world of 2026, those who can pivot after failure, adapt strategies, and maintain determination will consistently outperform those who avoid risk. Resilience transforms obstacles into stepping stones toward fortune. Wealth rarely comes from following a path already walked by millions. The ability to innovate, to see problems where others see none and create solutions that improve lives, is what defines economic success. Learning to think creatively, to challenge conventional wisdom, and to embrace emerging technologies is a skill that will be invaluable in 2026. Those who can combine insight with action, transforming imagination into practical solutions, are the ones who achieve extraordinary success. No one achieves great wealth alone. Building meaningful relationships with mentors, partners, and peers who inspire growth is crucial. Strategic networking is not about collecting contacts, but about nurturing genuine connections that provide mutual learning, opportunities, and support. In 2026, the ability to create a web of reliable and talented individuals around oneself will be a decisive skill for personal and financial growth. To navigate the years ahead successfully, one must understand that wealth is not merely a matter of luck or inheritance. It is the outcome of deliberate skill, cultivated over time. The first skill, often overlooked, is the ability to communicate with clarity and purpose. If your ideas cannot reach others, your talent remains invisible. Whether you are negotiating a partnership, pitching a concept, or simply sharing a vision, the power to express yourself persuasively will set you apart. In our increasingly interconnected world, mastering digital communication and storytelling is no longer optional. It is essential. Those who can inspire trust, curiosity, and action through words will always find doors opening where others find walls. The second skill is resilience. Life does not promise a smooth path. Every successful entrepreneur has encountered failure, rejection, and doubt. What distinguishes them is not an absence of error, but a refusal to be defeated by it. Failure is not a final verdict, it is a lesson disguised as hardship. In 2026, those who can endure setbacks, learn from them, and adapt quickly will find opportunities in circumstances where others see only obstacles. Resilience transforms adversity into a bridge leading toward achievement. The third skill is the art of innovation. To create wealth, one must see what others cannot. Innovation is the ability to perceive hidden problems and devise solutions that make life easier or better. This requires imagination married to practicality. It requires asking questions that no one else dares to ask and pursuing answers that challenge convention. In a world that is evolving faster than ever, the capacity to think creatively, leverage emerging technologies, and translate insight into action is invaluable. Wealth favors those who act on ideas that others overlook. The fourth skill lies in the cultivation of strategic relationships. Success is rarely a solitary pursuit. The network of people surrounding you, the mentors who guide, the partners who complement your strengths, the peers who challenge you, shapes the trajectory of your growth. But networking is not about amassing numbers. It is about building genuine, mutually beneficial connections. In the future economy, the ability to create and maintain meaningful relationships will be a decisive factor in reaching extraordinary levels of success. The fifth and final skill is the discipline of continuous learning. The world does not wait for anyone. Skills that are valuable today may be obsolete tomorrow. The commitment to ongoing education, whether through reading, observing, or experimenting, is what keeps one relevant, adaptable, and prepared to seize new opportunities. In 2026, the richest individuals will be those who embrace learning not as a duty, but as a lifelong practice. Knowledge, when applied with purpose, becomes the most reliable foundation of wealth. Master these 5 skills, and you will not merely chase wealth, you will attract it. You will build a life defined not by fleeting fortune, but by enduring capacity, vision, and the ability to navigate challenges with grace and wisdom. It is in cultivating these habits, day by day, that success becomes inevitable. Communication is the cornerstone of influence, the bridge between ideas and action, and the unseen force behind every significant achievement in human history. Wealth, in its truest sense, is rarely the result of labor alone. It is the outcome of ideas being conveyed so powerfully that others are compelled to act, to invest, to follow. To be rich in 2026 is not simply to accumulate money, but to develop the ability to express vision in a way that inspires trust and garners support. Those who can articulate their thoughts with clarity, precision, and persuasive strength will find that opportunities appear where none existed before. Communication is not merely the act of speaking, it is the art of connecting, of translating complex concepts into accessible narratives, of allowing others to see the world as you see it. Every interaction, whether a formal presentation, an email, a social media post, or a casual conversation, is an opportunity to project influence. When communication is mastered, influence follows naturally, and influence is the invisible currency of wealth. In today's world, communication extends beyond words. Nonverbal cues, tone, body language, and digital presence all contribute to the impression we leave. A person may possess groundbreaking ideas, yet without the skill to convey them effectively, those ideas remain dormant, like seeds buried in infertile soil. To be successful, one must learn to structure thoughts logically, to tell stories that resonate emotionally, and to deliver messages in a way that is both compelling and credible. The richest entrepreneurs, leaders, and innovators of our time, though often celebrated for their inventions or business acumen, share a common trait: they are exceptional communicators. They know how to frame a vision so vividly that people are not merely persuaded, they are moved. In 2026, the ability to communicate across cultures, languages, and platforms will be even more critical. Technology has collapsed distances and created global audiences. Thus, the skill of reaching hearts and minds beyond immediate surroundings is no longer optional but essential. Listening is a crucial component of communication that is frequently overlooked. True communication is not one-sided, it is an exchange. To influence others effectively, one must first understand them, their needs, their aspirations, their challenges. By listening actively, by asking questions that reveal insight, and by demonstrating empathy, one can tailor messages that resonate deeply. Wealth is often a byproduct of understanding what others value and offering it in a form they can readily accept. This requires attentiveness, patience, and the humility to learn from those you wish to influence. The ability to adapt communication style to different contexts, whether negotiating with investors, motivating a team, or addressing a public audience, is a skill that compounds over time. Moreover, digital literacy is now an integral part of effective communication. In 2026, the majority of influential conversations and opportunities will occur in online spaces, from virtual meetings to social media platforms to global digital forums. Mastery of these mediums is not simply about using technology, but about understanding how people consume information, how narratives can be structured for attention and retention, and how trust can be built virtually. Writing with clarity, presenting with confidence on camera, and engaging audiences through concise, meaningful content are skills that distinguish the truly successful from the merely competent. The impact of communication on personal growth cannot be overstated. By expressing ideas clearly, individuals clarify their own thinking. By teaching, explaining, and persuading, they refine understanding, identify gaps in knowledge, and strengthen confidence. This self-reinforcing cycle means that communication does not only open doors externally, but also builds internal capabilities. The ability to articulate vision attracts collaborators, investors, and followers, creating a network of support that amplifies potential. In a practical sense, communication translates into tangible outcomes, successful negotiations, profitable partnerships, and projects that materialize because people are inspired to contribute. To embrace the power of communication is to acknowledge that ideas alone are insufficient. It is to commit to expressing vision with precision, empathy, and influence. It is to master not only words but listening, non-verbal expression, and digital interaction. Those who cultivate this skill will discover that the ability to communicate effectively is a rare and valuable currency, one that opens doors, builds relationships, and ultimately transforms potential into measurable success. The capacity to influence through communication is not a mere accessory to wealth. It is the engine that drives it. Resilience is the invisible force that separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. In the pursuit of success, the path is rarely straight or predictable. Every person who has reached extraordinary heights has faced setbacks, disappointments, and failures. What differentiates the successful is not a life free from challenges, but the unwavering capacity to endure, adapt, and persevere in the face of them. In 2026, when the pace of change accelerates and industries evolve rapidly, resilience will be one of the most valuable skills a person can cultivate. It is not simply about surviving adversity, it is about using each challenge as an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to strengthen character. Every failure, every rejection, and every unforeseen obstacle carries within it a lesson that, if embraced, becomes a stepping stone toward greater achievement. The first element of resilience is perspective. Failure must be reframed not as a permanent verdict, but as a temporary circumstance and an instructive experience. When an idea fails, a venture collapses, or a strategy does not succeed, the initial reaction may be disappointment, anger, or even self-doubt. However, those who ultimately prosper understand that these emotions are natural but must be controlled. They analyze what went wrong, extract insights, and adjust their approach. This process transforms mistakes from sources of discouragement into fuel for improvement. In a world where new technologies, shifting markets, and unexpected global events can disrupt plans at any moment, the ability to maintain clarity and composure under pressure will distinguish the adaptive from the stagnant. Resilience also requires persistence over time. It is a skill cultivated through repetition and experience, not a sudden talent acquired in a single moment of crisis. Persistence is the commitment to continue working toward a goal, even when immediate results are not apparent. It is the understanding that success is rarely linear, that progress often occurs in small increments, and that setbacks are inevitable but temporary. Those who develop this long-term mindset avoid the trap of giving up when results are slow to manifest. Instead, they embrace each obstacle as a test of patience and determination, understanding that the true measure of potential is revealed in the consistency of effort despite adversity. Another dimension of resilience is adaptability. In the modern world, the factors that determine success are constantly evolving. Strategies that worked yesterday may fail tomorrow, and those unwilling to adjust will find themselves left behind. Resilient individuals cultivate flexibility of thought, learning to pivot when necessary, to change course without losing sight of their ultimate vision. Adaptability requires humility, the willingness to admit mistakes, to seek advice, and to revise plans in response to new information. It is through this combination of persistence and flexibility that failure ceases to be an endpoint and becomes a guidepost for refinement. Resilience is further strengthened by self-belief. Confidence in one's abilities, even in the face of repeated challenges, is essential for maintaining momentum. Yet this self-belief is not arrogance. It is grounded in preparation, knowledge, and the awareness that effort leads to growth. Those who trust their capacity to learn and improve are less likely to be crushed by temporary setbacks. Instead, they approach obstacles analytically, asking, "What can I learn from this?" rather than, "Why me?" This mindset converts difficulties into practical lessons, and over time, The accumulation of these lessons builds not only competence, but also a sense of personal empowerment that reinforces future resilience. Resilience involves viewing failure as a teacher rather than a punishment. Every rejected idea, failed attempt, or unexpected challenge contains hidden instruction. The willingness to embrace these lessons, to reflect on them honestly, and to integrate them into future actions is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Those who master this skill cultivate patience, humility, and foresight, qualities that not only enhance personal success, but also earn the respect and trust of others, creating opportunities that would otherwise remain inaccessible. Resilience is not a trait reserved for a fortunate few. It is a skill that can be developed intentionally. By learning to reframe failure, persist with determination, adapt to changing circumstances, and maintain confident self-belief, one builds a foundation that supports lasting achievement. The capacity to endure, grow, and thrive in the face of setbacks is the secret weapon of the truly successful, and it is this unwavering resilience that transforms challenges into catalysts for wealth, influence, and fulfillment. Innovation is the lifeblood of progress and the engine behind extraordinary success. To create wealth and impact in 2026, one must cultivate the ability to see the world differently, to recognize opportunities where others perceive only problems, and to devise solutions that improve lives. Innovation is not limited to inventing new products. It encompasses new ways of thinking, problem-solving, and approaching challenges. Those who master this skill understand that true innovation begins with observation and curiosity. By paying attention to patterns, identifying unmet needs, and questioning why things are done in a certain way, innovators can uncover possibilities that remain invisible to most people. Wealth, in its highest form, is rarely the result of copying existing methods. It is the outcome of creating value where none existed before. At the heart of innovation is imagination applied with purpose. Creativity alone without direction rarely translates into tangible results. Those who succeed in turning ideas into wealth know how to combine imaginative thinking with practicality. They evaluate the feasibility of concepts, refine approaches, and continuously test hypotheses. The process of innovation is iterative. It requires experimentation, risk-taking, and a willingness to fail multiple times before arriving at a solution that works. Every setback encountered during experimentation provides crucial data, helping to refine ideas and enhance future success. This disciplined approach to creativity ensures that innovation is not random but strategic, grounded in insight, and capable of producing measurable outcomes. Critical thinking is an essential companion to innovation. The ability to analyze information, identify patterns, and challenge assumptions allows innovators to distinguish between ideas that are merely interesting and those that have real-world potential. In a rapidly changing world, the capacity to discern trends, anticipate shifts, and adapt solutions proactively provides a competitive edge. Innovative individuals do not rely solely on intuition. They blend insight with observation, research, and analysis to ensure that their ideas are relevant, viable, and capable of creating lasting value. They ask questions that others avoid, and they pursue answers that challenge the status quo. This combination of curiosity and critical evaluation allows innovation to move from concept to execution, creating opportunities for growth, influence, and wealth. Another dimension of innovation is the ability to leverage technology and emerging trends. In 2026, industries across the globe will be transformed by digital tools, artificial intelligence, and automation. Those who can harness these technologies to streamline processes, enhance productivity, or create entirely new markets will be at the forefront of success. Innovation requires a mindset that is open to change and willing to embrace tools and ideas that disrupt traditional approaches. It is not enough to follow existing trends. Innovators anticipate the future, identify gaps, and design solutions that others cannot yet see. By integrating technology intelligently, innovators expand their reach, scale impact, and generate wealth in ways that were previously unimaginable. Innovation is also closely linked to problem solving. Every challenge presents an opportunity for creative intervention. Individuals who develop the skill of innovation learn to approach problems with a mindset of possibility rather than limitation. They break down complex issues into manageable components, explore multiple solutions, and implement strategies that maximize effectiveness. This approach transforms obstacles into opportunities, ensuring that difficulties encountered on the path to success become catalysts for growth rather than sources of discouragement. Innovative problem solvers do not merely react to circumstances, they shape them, creating environments where their ideas can thrive and produce tangible results. Collaboration is another critical aspect of innovation. While solitary creativity has value, most breakthrough solutions emerge when diverse perspectives intersect. By working with others who bring different skills, experiences, and viewpoints, innovators expand the breadth and depth of their ideas. Collaboration fuels refinement, enhances problem solving, and accelerates the transformation of concepts into actionable results. Those who master the art of innovation recognize the importance of building teams that complement their strengths, challenge their assumptions, and contribute collectively to the realization of ambitious goals. Mastering innovation is about mindset as much as skill. It requires curiosity, courage, discipline, and the confidence to pursue untested ideas. It demands observation, analysis, and the ability to transform insights into actionable strategies. Those who cultivate innovation consistently are able to create value, solve pressing problems, and seize opportunities before others recognize them. In a world that rewards originality, foresight, and adaptability, the skill of innovation is indispensable for anyone seeking lasting success and wealth. By developing this ability, individuals position themselves to lead, to influence, and to prosper in ways that are both meaningful and sustainable. Strategic networking is a skill that transcends mere socializing. It is the deliberate cultivation of meaningful relationships that open doors, foster growth, and accelerate success. Wealth and influence are rarely achieved in isolation. Those who reach extraordinary heights understand that their network, the people they engage with, learn from, and collaborate with, plays a pivotal role in shaping opportunities. In 2026, when the world is more interconnected than ever, the ability to build and maintain strategic relationships will be a decisive factor in personal and professional advancement. Networking is not about collecting contacts or superficial interactions. It is about nurturing authentic connections that are mutually beneficial, rooted in trust, respect, and shared vision. Those who master this skill recognize that relationships are not merely resources, but catalysts for innovation, support, and progress. The foundation of strategic networking is genuine interest in others. It requires active listening, empathy, and the ability to understand what motivates, challenges, and inspires the people you interact with. When relationships are built on a foundation of sincerity rather than self-interest, they are far more likely to endure and yield meaningful opportunities. Influential individuals do not seek connections solely for transactional gain. They invest in understanding others, celebrating their successes, and providing support when needed. This approach fosters trust, and trust is the currency of all high-value networks. In a rapidly evolving environment, those who can build trust across diverse groups, whether peers, mentors, or collaborators, gain access to insights, resources, and opportunities that are unavailable to the isolated or self-centered. Strategic networking also involves identifying the right people to connect with. Not all relationships hold equal potential for growth. Successful individuals evaluate where their efforts are best spent, seeking connections that align with their goals, values, and vision. This requires discernment, the ability to recognize potential allies, mentors, and partners whose influence, knowledge, or capabilities complement one's own. Networking strategically means prioritizing quality over quantity, focusing on relationships that can foster learning, collaboration, and mutual success. It is a deliberate, thoughtful approach rather than a haphazard collection of contacts, ensuring that each connection contributes meaningfully to both personal development and professional advancement. Another critical aspect of strategic networking is reciprocity. Relationships thrive when both parties benefit, and individuals who excel in networking understand the importance of giving before receiving. By offering support, sharing knowledge, and providing value to others, one establishes credibility and strengthens bonds. Generosity in networking is not a weakness, it is a strategic choice that multiplies returns. When others perceive that a connection is built on authentic value and mutual benefit, they are far more likely to invest time, resources, and effort in that relationship. Over time, this culture of reciprocity creates a network that is resilient, dynamic, and capable of producing opportunities that might otherwise remain inaccessible. Consistency and follow-through are equally essential in cultivating strategic networks. Building meaningful relationships cannot occur in a single interaction. It requires sustained effort, attention, and engagement. Regular communication, genuine interest, and responsiveness reinforce the strength of connections. People remember those who invest in them consistently, who celebrate their milestones, and who are present during both triumphs and challenges. In a world where fleeting interactions dominate, the ability to nurture long-term relationships sets one apart. Strategic networking is, therefore, not a short-term tactic, but a lifelong commitment to meaningful connection and mutual growth. Furthermore, the digital era has expanded the scope and scale of networking. Online platforms, virtual communities, and global forums provide unprecedented opportunities to connect with influential individuals, thought leaders, and potential collaborators. However, the principles of effective networking remain unchanged. Authenticity, reciprocity, and thoughtful engagement are still paramount. Digital tools amplify reach, but they cannot replace the value of genuine trust-based relationships. Those who integrate online networking with in-person connections create a powerful synergy, expanding their influence while maintaining depth and credibility. Strategic networking also cultivates learning and adaptability. By engaging with individuals from diverse backgrounds, industries, and perspectives, one gains insights that would be otherwise inaccessible. These interactions expose different ways of thinking, spark creativity, and reveal opportunities that may have remained hidden. A robust network functions as both a support system and a source of knowledge, providing guidance, feedback, and collaboration that accelerate personal and professional growth. In 2026, when change will continue to be rapid and unpredictable, the ability to tap into such a network will be invaluable for identifying opportunities, solving problems, and making informed decisions. Cultivating strategic networking is a skill that compounds over time. It requires intentionality, sincerity, and a commitment to providing value while learning from others. Those who master it create a web of relationships that enhances influence, accelerates growth, and provides access to opportunities beyond what any individual could achieve alone. In a world that rewards collaboration, insight, and adaptability, the capacity to build and sustain meaningful connections is indispensable for lasting success and wealth. Continuous learning is one of the most powerful skills that can determine the trajectory of success and wealth in 2026. The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace, driven by technology, globalization, and shifts in industries, markets, and societal expectations. Skills that are valuable today may become obsolete tomorrow, and knowledge that is current may be irrelevant in a few years. Those who embrace the discipline of lifelong learning position themselves to not only survive, but thrive in a constantly changing environment. Learning is not confined to formal education. It extends to every experience, every challenge, and every interaction. The individual who commits to acquiring knowledge continuously is one who transforms uncertainty into opportunity, adaptability into a competitive advantage, and curiosity into tangible results. At the heart of continuous learning is curiosity. It is the desire to understand the world more deeply, to explore new ideas, and to seek knowledge even when it is uncomfortable or unfamiliar. Curiosity drives questioning, critical thinking, and the pursuit of insight. Those who cultivate this mindset actively seek to expand their understanding, whether by reading books, attending workshops, engaging with mentors, or observing the world around them. Curiosity fuels innovation and creativity, allowing individuals to connect disparate ideas in ways that produce unique solutions and strategies. In 2026, the pace of innovation will demand that those who wish to succeed maintain an insatiable appetite for knowledge and the ability to apply it effectively. Learning is most effective when it is intentional and structured. It is not sufficient to passively consume information. One must actively engage with content, reflect on its relevance, and practice applying new skills in real-world contexts. The discipline of continuous learning involves setting goals, identifying areas for growth, and committing time and energy consistently to improvement. This requires patience and persistence, as meaningful learning is a gradual process rather than an instant transformation. By embracing structured learning, individuals build a foundation of expertise, refine their capabilities, and position themselves to capitalize on opportunities that require knowledge, skill, and insight. Adaptability is a natural byproduct of continuous learning. As the world changes, those who have cultivated the habit of learning are better prepared to adjust to new circumstances, technologies, and market demands. They approach challenges with an open mind, a willingness to explore alternatives, and the confidence to acquire the skills necessary to navigate shifting landscapes. In contrast, those who rely solely on past experience or static knowledge often struggle to remain relevant. Lifelong learners maintain a forward-looking perspective, anticipating trends, acquiring new competencies, and aligning their expertise with emerging demands. This adaptability not only enhances personal effectiveness, but also creates opportunities for leadership, innovation, and financial growth. Continuous learning also fosters self-awareness and personal growth. By exposing oneself to diverse ideas, perspectives, and disciplines, an individual gains insight into their strengths, weaknesses, and potential. This reflective process cultivates humility and the understanding that no matter how accomplished one may be, there is always room for improvement. Recognizing the limits of one's knowledge motivates further exploration and creates a mindset that embraces challenges rather than fearing them. The individual who values learning as a lifelong pursuit is resilient, curious, and equipped to navigate complexity with clarity and confidence. Mentorship and collaboration are critical components of continuous learning. Engaging with those who possess expertise, experience, and perspective accelerates understanding and provides practical insight that cannot be gleaned from books alone. Learning from the successes and failures of others allows one to avoid common pitfalls, adopt best practices, and gain strategies for tackling complex problems. Collaboration enhances this process, as exchanging ideas with peers exposes individuals to new viewpoints and encourages critical evaluation of their own assumptions. By integrating the knowledge and experience of others, lifelong learners amplify their growth and develop the versatility required to achieve exceptional outcomes. Continuous learning transforms knowledge into action. Learning for its own sake is valuable, but the true measure of this discipline lies in applying insights to create solutions, generate value, and improve outcomes. Those who learn consistently and act intentionally turn knowledge into influence, capability, and wealth. They recognize that every new skill acquired, every lesson absorbed, and every insight gained is an asset that compounds over time. In 2026, the ability to learn, adapt, and apply knowledge faster than others will be one of the most powerful determinants of success. By cultivating the discipline of continuous learning, individuals ensure that they remain relevant, competitive, and capable of transforming potential into tangible achievement.